You Don't Need a Godfather is a book about personal success. As the CHRO of a billion-dollar company, I get to see a lot of people, and I've always wondered, why is it that some people succeed wildly and while the others hit mediocrity and fall by the wayside. And thinking through that and wanting to share with young people on a few things that will make them successful and most importantly be happy with their success is why I wrote You Don't Need a Godfather. I believe success is timeless, it cannot be episodic. A few of the lessons that I have there, and I've said it through stories and conversations from real life. Some of them been modified to maintain confidentiality, but it's stories that you and I will see in the workplace. One of the stories that I speak about is my son and I were at the World Cup, Cricket World Cup, where India was playing Ireland. Ireland had just bet England, and there was a lot of, a dud match suddenly became an interesting match. And India lost the plot somewhere in between. And Agastya, my son, started crying and he said, I hate Ireland. And I said, why do you hate Ireland? India is playing bad. He said, but Appa, India is losing. And I turned back and said, that's true. Most of us, when we lose, don't look internally and talk about our capabilities or why we failed, but we say, you know what, that guy won and I hate that guy, or my manager didn't support me, or my parents didn't send. So the three things that I say there is, you can't change the weather, can you? But you can change the fact that you carry an umbrella out. So when it rains, you're prepared. So many times we're so overwhelmed by 10 things that we can't do that we don't focus on the one thing that we can do. And that's one of the lessons that I leave out there, right? Don't blame others. Don't fall prey to the Ireland syndrome. Focus on the things that you can do and don't get overwhelmed by the things that you can't do. And second, a very interesting thing that I speak about, it's an interesting chapter called Slit Chilies on the Rocks. Many of us ignore the fact that we are brands, your perceptions. When we interact with people, we're creating brands, and those brands create reactions and create results for us. Can we purposefully design those brands? Not away from our core, but create a brand that speaks for itself and create consistency in what you do. So you build credibility, you build consistency, and people know what to look for. And I believe that makes a big way in bringing about success. And amongst the many other things, one of the things that I also speak about, and there's a chapter called Monkey That Ate Ginger. And the whole thing is we take ourselves too seriously. We're so worried about those 10 things that we made mistakes, and we start withdrawing into ourselves. And I say, life is short. You got to have fun. You got to laugh at yourself. While you're watching your life as a movie, most people are not bothered about the mistakes that you make. So let go, let loose, and have fun. And if you're having fun, success will come to you naturally. And of course, you're getting me to speak about a 108-page book in a few minutes. There are many such interesting ones said in a very conversational, practical stories that people will love to read. See, I think there is a demand-supply mismatch for like one of the startups that I'm on the board of. They want talent, they're willing to pay money, but they're not able to get the right talent, right? And I get at least 5 resumes in my inbox every day saying, can I get a job? So there's a huge employability issue that we have. I don't think demand is an issue, I think employability is an issue. At the second level, you also have, people have worked, when the economy is doing very well, everybody thinks that they can swim well. When the tide recedes is when you realize most of them are not even wearing swimming trunks. Which means we don't have the skills and the competencies to manage the new economy. So I think individuals and companies will have to invest in building managers that can manage both the growth cycle as well as the down cycle. And that's sorely lacking in India. I believe the future will be for the specialists and not for the generalists. Just by saying I'm a software engineer or a HR manager or a retail supervisor is not going to keep them going. They have to figure out 1 or 2 things that they'll do well, and they'll do much better than somebody else, and therefore they can command a premium. I think that's how I'd leave the entire supply demand and making sure you have a job
Right.
for posterity question.